the stallion that done all of the damage the other night. He don't look like much to me. You boys ought to be ashamed.
Hi, I'm Shaky, and these are my tales of times forgotten. This is Shaky Subject Matter.
And confirm some of it's en route.
Confirmed and 990 being apprised. This is a stolen moped. Your information.
Fez, what are you doing with that radio on over there?
It's a high-powered motor.
You got a job at Polo University as a security officer. Okay, well, you're not at work yet, so come over here and sit down and help me record this podcast. All right, everybody. SHKE coming to you live from Studio 306 presents the Shaky Subject Matter podcast once again. It's interesting that Fez got a job as a security officer at Polo University because tonight's movie that we're going to review is called The Midnight Man, which is about a failed police officer that gets a job at a university and gets embroiled in a world of trouble that he couldn't imagine.
What do you know about that tape? I believe your daughter was murdered for it.
Who killed Natalie Claiborne? The janitor? The sheriff? The hippie? The senator? The professor? The girlfriend? The ex-con? The guard? One of them is a murderer. All of them make the most fascinating murder mystery in years. Burt Lancaster in The Midnight Man.
I might be able to bring in a killer if I knew what was on that tape.
In case he gets his hands on you, God knows when I'll see you again.
Who killed Natalie? A murder mystery that almost defies solution. See Burt Lancaster in The Midnight Man.
That's right. The Midnight Man, starring Burt Lancaster, is about a former police officer named Jim Slade who was imprisoned for a reason I don't want to say before you see the movie, and gets released and called by his friend to come work at the college as a security guard. This movie is a little different because it's very similar to a made-for-TV movie of the week mystery like Columbo or McCloud, and it's filmed just like that with kind of a similar soundtrack and a lot of character actors, and it kind of throws you for a loop when they start throwing out the swear words and such. But anyway, back to the movie. So Jim Slade starts his job at the university, walking night rounds, and here's a little clip.
Morning, sir.
You're new here.
Yes, sir. My name is Slade. I started Tuesday.
I'm Dr. Pritchett. How long has it been since you checked this building?
About an hour ago in my regular rounds. I was just opening up for the day. I noticed that door.
Seems somebody's broken in here. Tape recordings are missing.
Are you sure?
Yes, I locked them in the desk. It seems somebody's stolen them.
I'll notify the sheriff's office.
Oh, no, I'd rather you wouldn't. Dean Collins doesn't like to have police on the campus. They can be a very disturbing influence. Mr. Willinger's always been able to deal with this sort of thing. Actually, the tapes had no value. I don't know why anyone would want to steal them.
What kind of tapes were they, sir?
Well, my department offers psychological counseling. Not as complex as psychotherapy, with the same technique. You see, if a student doesn't have an appointment, he can get things off his chest on tape whenever he has the urge. There were 3 tapes left here yesterday.
Have you played them?
Well, unfortunately, no. I had some papers to grade last night.
Did you know whose tapes they were?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I jotted their names down here someplace. Wait a minute. Yes. Here they are.
Maybe one of them changed their mind.
What do you mean?
Didn't want you to play the tapes, so he took all 3 to avoid suspicion.
Oh, I doubt it. They know all they'd have to do is call me and I'd destroy the tape without listening to it. Damn it, I've got an early class this morning. They'll have to be notified, of course.
Maybe I can be of some help. Would you like me to tell them for you?
Well, that would be most helpful, thank you.
Doctor?
And with that, Jim Slade begins his investigations into who stole the audio tapes. Now, this movie has so many twists and turns in it. If I say anything, it's going to give it away. But what I can say is that this is Barbara Bach's first movie before she was in The Dukes of Hazzard. And that his girlfriend, Linda Thorpe, is Webster's mom from the TV show Webster. And it leads to a disastrous evening for everybody. And here's a clip while he's trying to recover.
It's a little better.
Just how would you like your eggs, Mr. Slade?
All right, Quartz, let's have it.
Well, let's see, sir. Your number of phone calls. Linda Thorpe called to express her concern for your health. And Sheriff Casey called and said he would be desolated if you left town. And Senator Claiborne phoned. He was deeply disappointed that you couldn't make your appointment this morning. And I haven't heard from them 3 lovely assholes that you spent such a lovely evening with last night, though I'm sure that their get-well cards is on the way. And then there were calls from 3 more of your conquests, Arthur King, Professor Mason, and Dr. Pritchett.
What the hell did they want?
It seems their pads were torn apart, and they figured that it was you looking for that tape.
Carl Metterman call?
No, why?
Can I borrow your car?
Sure. Jim, what's going on? Jim!
So as you hear, the heat is really coming on Slade. And this movie is crazy when it comes to the twists and turns. Like I said, I can't give anything away, but it has the senators, it has the detectives, the police, and even the country bumpkins are in this thing. You know, the hillbilly villains that are chasing down Linda Thorpe and Jim Slade trying to stop him from conducting his investigation. There's CIA spooks running around. It just gets crazier and crazier as the movie progresses. And then it comes up to an ending in a barn. Police chief from Death Wish 3 and the guy who yells "shoot the moon" and Cheech and Chong's up in smoke. So it's crazy. And here's a clip.
Bill? So this is the stallion that done all the damage the other night. He don't look like much to me. You boys ought to be ashamed.
Damn it, Nell! You want this half-wit to kill him? Leroy said for us to wait. You turn him loose in the barnyard, I'll give you a show.
You couldn't whip an old cripple. I'd beat you without even working up a sweat.
Cash! You think we all mush brain like Cash? You just a baiting him so we'll turn you loose to fight. We'll just put him on ice till Leroy gets back.
Yes, you heard it right. Hillbilly villains in this crazy movie. Now, I came home from work one night while I was a security officer in the 90s, and this was on Encore when it first started. It's the first and only time I've ever seen it on broadcast television. So I hunted it down from Kino Lorber Studios, put out a DVD of it with a really nice commentary. But this movie is kind of like Night Moves. It even has the same woman from Night Moves in it as the love interest for Jim Slade. And like I said, it was filmed like a made-for-TV movie because they were worried that people were going to stay home and watch movies, so they wanted to make them like being at home at the theater, but just with shocking things like F-bombs and the dead bodies and sexual content, that type of thing. I don't want to give the ending away because I think you might enjoy this, because I like watching it every once in a while because it's kind of a throwback to the 70s and just how things used to be. You can also find this on YouTube, and please watch it. It was a really fun movie for me, and the character actors in this are crazy. You'll see people. Cameron Mitchell is the man's name. He's pretty much been in everything since the 50s. And the sheriff, who was the judge in Ghostbusters for that and many other different shows and movies. Yeah, go ahead and give this one a look. Fez, I thought I told you to turn that radio off. Well, for Fez Barlow and Shaky, SHKE Radio, coming to you live from Studio 306, is currently off the air. Good night.